Hello, class. My name is Christopher Milton, and I'll be giving you a persuasive speech today. So I'll be doing my speech on why we need to reduce our carbon footprint. So global extinction. That's where we're headed if we do not stop our current path. Because climate change has always been something I've been interested in. I've always done research on it. I've watched documentaries, and just it's something that interests me. And also with having kids now, it's something that interests me more because it's going to affect them in the future. And I want them to grow up in a world where they can have the best advantages, you know? So we need the earth to live. And at the rate we're going, the earth will be uninhabitable. So think about your children, think about your family, and think about the future. So reducing our carbon footprint can affect the process of global warming. And in this speech, I will be showing facts to support this. I will be talking about how the world has changed due to global warming and what will happen if we do not change our behavior. So reducing your carbon footprint will reduce the greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. By reducing our carbon footprint, we can prevent up to 3 million premature deaths by 2100. The greenhouse gases I am referring to is carbon dioxide, which traps the heat around our globe and acts like a greenhouse, and it just heats things up. And so, in case it makes it hotter, so the temperatures will rise. The carbon warms our planet as well as pollutes the air. And it also makes observable changes in our environment. As a result, we have glaciers that are melting as well as the ice caps. The sea level has risen, and there are more heat waves as well as more tsunamis and more hurricanes. Like, look at Florida. They thought it was going to be a Category 2. Now it's a Category 4. And look at all the devastation it's caused. So in that aspect, it's going to cost us money just to help them, give them aid. So on a bigger scale, like global warming will cost us, and the debt will rise, and it will make it harder to live. So I want to tell you about some of the foreseeable consequences of global warming and not reducing our carbon footprint. Global climate change is projected to continue and will make temperatures continually rise. As a result, the growing season will become longer. So for farmers, the growing season will be longer. But in case in point, the growing season being longer, you think it would make it better because they could grow more food, but it's going to produce more greenhouse gases, which is going to accelerate the process of climate change. So it's a double-edged sword. Actually, with that, the precipitation will change, as well as droughts and heat waves will become more frequent. And hurricanes, they will become stronger, which will cause more devastation and cost the U.S. more money, or wherever it's at, cost them more money as a state or as a government. The sea levels will rise, and the Arctic will most likely become ice-free in this foreseeable future. And that's hard to believe, but it's a true fact. There's facts behind this. So the ways you can reduce your carbon footprint is to reduce your watching TV, reduce your use of appliances, And even think about going solar. Solar panels, they're not expensive, and they have tax breaks now that can help you pay for them, and as well as you can get rebates. So it's something that's it's not unfathomable. As well as travel. So they want you to reduce the way you travel. So they want you to reduce aggressive driving, braking, and speeding, hard braking and speeding, as well as rapid acceleration, which in turn is gonna make your fuel consumption go up because you're driving your car erratically, which is gonna make your fuel consumption go up, which is gonna make the more greenhouse gases, which are gonna affect the environment even more. So I would think about even carpooling or taking public transportation. So as well as the way we eat. By eating meat, by stop eating meat at least a couple times a week, you can reduce the greenhouse gases, because if you think about all the things they put into, all the work that's put into meat, so they have to feed them, they use tractors, it's so many different objects that you have to use that consume, that make greenhouse gases, that it's just unfathomable. And as well, they want us to buy organic. So buy organic food, buy from your local farmers market or whatever is in your area, or even grow your own vegetables, which is hard, but you can either watch a YouTube video or ask somebody. I mean, it's not impossible. As well as composting. Compost is something I've been trying to do, me and my girlfriend have been trying to do ourselves. And because composting is not a hard process, but a lot of people might think it's nasty, but it will help us cut down on our carbon output. So in conclusion, I want to talk about, if we keep going down the same path, this will be our conclusion. Global extinction. And in closing, my closing remarks would be, if you don't want to change it, if not for yourself, do it for your children, or do it for the future. It's not just on you. Just think about everybody in the world. Any questions?
You were mentioning composting. Why not just throw it into the trash can? It's so much easier. And then it goes to the landfill, so isn't that the same as composting?
So when you throw things in the trash, like organic substances, like food, they don't break down the right way they should if they were left out in the environment or just left freely. Because the trash can traps, or the trash bag traps, and it stops the breaking down process. The food actually it takes longer to break down in a bag than it would be out in the environment. And actually, if you compost, it's better for the environment because it helps plants grow. It helps the ecosystem.
Do you know how long it would take to break down in the landfill?
I think it's like 5 to 7 years. With something you could break down in your backyard with a couple days. Wow. But that's the process of nature. It's a cycle. Mm-hmm. Any more questions?
No.
Well, thank you. This concludes my presentation.